Hello, welcome back to the New Consciousness. This video is gonna be a future video, which means that yes, I'm doing this now for October 2022 because I think it's important to address this now, because we're creating the future from the now and we need our vision to create our future. But really, this topic is a topic that will be maybe important in 10 years' time, or maybe in 50 years' time, or 150 years' time. But let's address this now. Let's address our new governments. Are we ready for new governments? And I'm sure almost everybody would say yes, in almost every corner of the world. Because what we're experiencing and what we're seeing within our governments is not necessarily pleasing, right? Is not making us happy, to say the least. So the question is, okay, what has to change? What do we need? What kind of change do we need in order to have the kind of government we want? And that's where we come into this, because it really depends on the people, what kind of leaders there are. The leadership is a reflection of the consciousness of everyone. And so if the consciousness is quite low and not far-reaching, very focused on day-to-day stuff and on maybe very ego-focused identity, human-focused aspects, then there is not a lot of awake energy there. There is not a lot of consciousness there. And so because the people in the government, like everyone, comes from the same system, like they're all being raised and brought up in this society, whichever corner of the world, and then they choose to go for, the jobs with the power and the jobs with the money and the jobs with the influence, and that's why they're there, and then you have them there and they are just representative of what's there everywhere, what the most prevalent state of consciousness is. And so if we want to lead different lives, if we want to have different leadership, we need to look at what is it we're doing and where are we with our consciousness, and how can we raise our consciousness, how can we become more awake and aware so that we can pass this on to our children who will be the future leaders. And so if we look at the leadership now, like what is attractive about leadership, we quickly discover that many people are attracted by money, by power, by influence, by self-importance, and so on, and by all the opportunities that job might bring, right? Now, there are also some really idealistic people who also want to make things better within the community or within their town or their country. There are those ones also, but they quickly realize that the power guys take over. They take over the reins, and that they strive for power, and this incredible attraction to power is a lot more powerful than their ideals, and oftentimes they drop off or drop in the background if they hang around, or they just fall out of that again, out of the group, because they can't stay there, because there's too big of a gap. So the question is, how do we get a different type of leadership? A leadership that is actually for the people, for humanity, for freedom, for health, for the individual power of everyone. How can we get leaders that are like that? Then we need to look at, well, what attributes do they need to have? If the attributes of the leaders we have today are not making us happy, are not making humanity happy, are destructive, are counterproductive, are actually very much against the people, then we need to be certain about the characteristics we need in the future leadership. What do we need? and then quickly realize that the qualities we need for good leadership is integrity, authenticity, honesty, wisdom, love, compassion, the ability to integrate, like to bring different ideas, different people, different nations, to bring things together, to bring people together, to include, be inclusive. We need people who really have the people and the interest of the people and the needs of the people very close to their heart and want to serve that. So how do we get somebody who has the spirit of wanting to serve, really wanting to serve, and wanting to do the best for humanity in a kind, loving, compassionate, wise way? How do we get those when everybody who makes it to the leadership positions really has the opposite characteristics at the moment? Because otherwise you don't survive there. Well, the first step is that we need to look at who are we? Who are we being? Are we already displaying those attributes we want to see more of in our leadership? And if not, then we need to work on those ourselves. And then we need to spread them, and we need to, wherever we are in our lives, we can and we should promote those within ourselves and within our environment, and support those who promote those. And then, because this will be a living example as well to the future generations. And then the next thing would be, we need to eliminate what attracts people to those positions. So if it's power, if it's money, if it's influence, if it's self-importance, we need to eliminate all those aspects. And how do we do that? By selecting different aspects, by making it a lot less attractive for somebody who is looking for financial gain to come into a leadership position. For example, one way could be that the highest positions in the country will be on minimum wage. Just what the lowest worker is earning, this is what the leader will get. Because this would actually make sure that they're not doing it for financial gain, they're doing it in the spirit of service. And also in terms of power, because it's the people voting for them, like whoever feels they still want to do it on a minimum wage, okay, put up your hand. But then it's also, do you qualify in terms of the characteristics, in terms of the attributes? Are you loving? Are you compassionate? Are you wise? Are you kind? Are you peaceful? Show us. How can you display this? How have you shown this within your life path? And only then, like once we're clear, okay, it's a person with integrity, it's an honest person, it's an open-hearted person, it's a wise person, yes. And if they said, I feel called to serve in this way, there will be no red carpets, there will be no big banquets, there will be no privileges. I will be the servant of all. But I feel called to do this for however long I feel called to do this. But this is how I want to serve here while I'm on earth for this period of time. How I want to be there for others. I think I can do this with the soul I am and with the energy I bring here. Wow. Then if we have a group of people saying, yes, you can vote for me because this is my attitude, this is my spirit, this is my desire, this is what I have to offer, what I want to offer in service to you, then we could choose from that, or maybe there wouldn't be that many to choose from, but there will be more to choose from if we start becoming that way. So my invitation is, from now onwards, and this is why I feel it's important now, because we're creating our future now. Let us become everything we're looking for in future leaders. Let us become kind and compassionate and wise and understanding and conscious and aware and awake and connected. Let us become that. So there might be a pool of future leaders amongst us or the future generations who see how we become, how we are. We need to always become what we want to see in the world. You cannot expect your leaders to be the wisest, kindest, greatest, most generous people if you're not that. And then they need to force you to become good or what? And good, not in judgment, but to have all these characteristics and to, no, it comes from us. It comes from the people. There are people from the people. There's only one people. There's only one humanity. So it's down to us again to develop those qualities we want to see more of in our leadership. We need leaders who nurture freedom for every single person and who do not try to stifle it, who do not try to take away freedoms however they can, wherever they can, what seems to be going on in the world right now. But who do the opposite, who say, I am a free being and I'm giving all of you your freedom. Express yourself, be your soul self. Because I know you're all eternal souls on this journey and we're here to help each other, exploring this soul journey to the best and most vibrant way possible. So this is what I want to give to you. From now on, during the next couple of weeks, months and years, let's start building new governments with ourselves today. I'm going to love you and leave you for today, and we'll talk again next time if you want to.